the beans like we used to do. Pass the beans. Pass the beans like we used to do. Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans. The Beans Talk. Hey, Bean fam. It is the Beans Talk podcast. Yes, sure. We come back at you with another episode of the Beans Talk.
Yeah.
We are four educators of color bringing you raw, authentic conversation about society, views, and community engagement. Everybody, I am Fabs.
I'm Steph. What's up, y'all?
Hey, y'all, it's Ro.
And this is TJ.
Yeah. Here we are in the new year together.
Why y'all
2020.
singing this whack ass song?
You don't like it?
No,
You don't
it's
like
about
that song?
Bone. No.
Can you just embrace
2020,
it?
Sorry, I love it.
Yeah. Happy 2020, folks. Happy
I know.
2020. What did you guys do for the new year? Let's just start there before I ask my deep question. But I feel like I haven't caught up with you guys since
I know,
the
it's
new
been a
year.
while.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it feels like it. What did we do? We went to
Jamaica.
Wait. Just one to me.
Man, that was nice.
Everything is Irish.
I know. Jamaica was amazing. Thanks to Steph. She surprised me with a gift to Jamaica. And we spent the New Year's there and my birthday, which was really, really lit. By far the best. I went complete Rasta style.
Boy.
And everyone loved it. I will coin the term, and it will be my nickname any and every time I go to Jamaica. Rasta Gyal.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Rasta
man.
gal.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah, man.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Hating. They thought I did
They
it
actually
good. You know what I'm
thought
saying?
that she was like, they were like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
When they were telling her to say some of the phrases with using a Jamaican accent,
Yeah,
they
I
were
was like,
oh,
wagwan,
yeah.
and they were like, ooh.
Yeah.
Jamaican. I was like, nah.
Fabiola was feeling herself in Jamaica.
Maybe a
I'm
little
sure they
bit, you
loved
know.
y'all too. I'm sure they were like all
They
over
did.
you guys. Yeah.
Everyone
I bet.
did.
I believe it.
It was nice to say that it's,
Yeah.
they were off limits.
Or
It was
were
the
they?
guys were really like
They
just-
were. TJ.
Or were
thirsty.
they?
They were thirsty. Good job.
We're not thirsty.
They
I
were.
mean,
Say what it is.
I guess
Yeah.
it was.
Nah,
But they were
Jamaica
just
was
like
amazing.
so much.
Yeah.
Like,
And then James, our friend from college, James, and Cheyenne came through.
yeah.
And that was lit.
Shout
Such a
out
good
to
time.
y'all.
Shout out to
Thank y'all.
Very good time. I really appreciate it. But yeah, New Year's has been good up until this point. It's been really good.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't get to go, but my New Year's was pretty low key. I didn't do anything.
You were in Connecticut?
Knitted a sweater or something with pair of socks.
Okay.
I was like an old man, just like in my
shell.
Yeah, in my shell. You know, I'm like low key, so I just chilled out, made some goals as you should for the new year, and I just chilled out. I didn't do a lot.
What's one goal you made that was
That you're willing to divulge.
Yes.
One goal, book deal 2020.
Hey.
That's what's gonna happen.
Book deal 2020. Hashtag.
Put some good spirits on that right there. Send that up.
That's what's up,
that
baby. I was in New York.
Yeah, you was showing out.
Yeah, New York.
Showing out.
I'm gonna move to Brooklyn, y'all.
No.
No, I am.
I can see it.
Brooklyn
I can
made
see it.
so
I
could
much
definitely
sense.
see
I could actually see her
It
living there,
made
but
so much sense to me. Shout outs to everyone who made me have a blast down there. Johida, Jordan, it was just such a good ass time, yo.
That's what's up.
Brooklyn, c'est pays moins. That's where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be. Si c'est
Yeah.
pas Brooklyn, c'est Haiti.
It's changed a
If
lot,
it's
though.
not Brooklyn,
It's
it's
just
Haiti.
Boston's just not.
Boston.
Brooklyn has been changing.
Yeah.
It's definitely been changing.
Since I was there, it's just
Back in 1999.
No, not like 2009,
Really?
2010, and then again in 2014. There's like the part I was in was Flatbush, and it's like a lot of Caribbean people, Trinis and Haitians, and now if you go, it's like white people galore.
Oh wow, we didn't go
Like
to
it's
Flatbush.
crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
changed a lot.
Gentrified.
Yeah,
Gentrification.
Kind of sad too. I don't know.
Where
A
we
little bit
stayed
of a
at.
culture just kind of.
Yeah.
Where we were at, I loved. It was mad black. Mad black.
What part were you
Okay.
in?
Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
What was the name of the street? Cusco Street? I don't know. Cusco Street, that's the station.
Couscous like the
Come on,
food?
then. I don't know. Maybe they say it some type of way. Costco. Merde.
Costco is a.
Quitez-moi, not today. I'm in good spirits. It's 2020. Popping for more, okay? Popping for more. Not today, but nah. Yeah, we were in Bed-Stuy. It was just so dope. Just seeing brown people everywhere. Like, I loved it.
I know you got all fresh on us. Went to get your lashes done.
But they coming
She
off
got
now.
her lashes
Okay, but they coming
did.
off. Don't embarrass
I
me.
see
Don't
you got
embarrass
like
me.
2 on there,
You'll
on
leave
that
me
left
alone?
eye.
Fabiola.
Fabiola. You guys tell Fabiola to leave me alone, though.
Yeah.
They were cute though. They were
No,
cute.
they were.
Got my
They were
lashes
popping.
done. I
They were
was
popping.
popping.
That's what's up.
But I'm happy to be back home. This is good. This
Nice.
is good.
So that was just like a little, maybe a mini warm up. The real question that I wanted to ask, like after we gone through our New Year's sort of resetting, 2020, fresh, I wanted to just talk about like our buckets. Like Fabiola always talks about her buckets, like the things that are most important and valuable to life. And so I was wondering what your buckets are. If you had to pick 3 things that you would categorize as the most important or foundational pieces of your life, what would those buckets be? And it can be anything. And I'm actually going to have Fabiola start off because she'll be a good modeling of this exercise and can give you a sense or idea about
Now
what I mean.
I gotta revive my buckets.
Your bucket.
My
Yes.
buckets, baby. My buckets.
What are
So
your
3 buckets that are really, really important to me. And I feel like I've tapped into this towards the tail end of 2019 and really trying to make sure I am like sticking to it in 2020. Full transparency. So my 3 buckets that if you are not completely like willing to value and put into these buckets, then I'm not sure that we're compatible. This means that if you're not, my 3 buckets, let me just go ahead and name them. It's happiness, love, and time. So if you're not valuing my time, happiness, and my love, if you're not putting into those 3 buckets, you're not fulfilling those 3 buckets, then I question our relationship. You know what I mean? And that means like anybody. And I mean like that's networking. That if I'm networking, that means that you're value to my time, and that's a bucket, and I'm willing to invest my time in that. Time is so crucial. I feel like that's one of the biggest things. It's like that's all we got, really. You know what I mean? If you take money out of it, that's created. The only thing that we really have on this earth that's truly valuable is time. And if you're not really filling into those buckets with love and happiness, I don't know. So those are my 3 buckets.
Interesting. I like those 3.
I know, me too.
I think my 3 buckets would be health. Even though like I'm not always on the ball with like going to the gym and taking care of health, I know in 2020 that's a big goal of mine, is to really be conscious of like my body and the things I put into it, and just like making sure I'm good, I'm sound in my health, both physically and mentally too.
Absolutely.
So health, I would say family. You know, as I'm getting older, I see my mom getting older, and my sister lives overseas, and my brother lives in New York, and we have a small family, and we're all spread out. So it's important that we like find ways to really connect, and I find myself valuing the time I spend with my family more than I did when I was a kid, or like when I was a teenager. And I think that's really important. And the 3rd bucket for me is empathy, only because I find that
Wait, hold on a minute. Can we just really like
TJ?
let that?
I
Can we
know,
soak that
TJ,
in, y'all?
guys, did you hear
we just
that?
heard TJ's talk about empathy.
Yeah,
TJ
I'm
talking about empathy.
empathetic. Okay, I'm
Ridiculous.
yeah. For me, empathy is important only because I find that in the past I have a history of, especially with people I date, dating people that aren't conscious of the way they make me feel or the way they're dismissive of my feelings. So going into 2020, I'm really trying to make sure I keep people in my space who, you know, just are, they move in a certain way where I feel like they value and understand how what they do and say make me feel. And at the same time, that's something I need to work on too. Why are y'all looking at me like that? Why?
It's just a beautiful thing.
I
You
feel
said
attacked.
empathy. You said conscious. You talking about other people.
You know,
I don't know.
I'm like
We're
a
on the up and up
butterfly.
here.
I'm evolving.
A caterpillar.
Yes, I'm evolving. So I'm you know, Yeah.
Nice.
Those
I
are
like
my
it.
3.
I love it.
Me too.
I can't think of 3, but there are 2 that immediately came to mind, and the third one will make its way through. Simplicity, peace of mind, and then I'll think about a third one. Simplicity. I feel like we, as people, we have a tendency of just complicating shit, yo. And I really want to be able to move and just have things be so simple. Like El Boogie said, it could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like let's just simplify everything that we're doing, our relationships with people we care about, our networking, and like just make it so simple. So that's why simplicity. Peace of mind. I think in order for me to make things simple, I first have to make sure that I'm at peace with Ro.
Definitely.
And
Yep.
so that peace of mind.
That's an El Boogie song too.
I gotta
Find my peace of mind.
Oh gosh,
I
y'all.
didn't hate that. I didn't
You all about all
Two
about
songs
Lauren.
from her, so.
I didn't even
We're
think
on to
that.
something, y'all.
But yeah, peace of mind is just so important, man. And I know I want to work more towards that, like being at peace with who I am and who I am, like presenting to the world. And if they fuck with it, they do. If they don't, it's okay.
Right.
It is okay. And then the third one, Fabiola Bebe, I think I'm gonna take your love.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Take it.
Like love.
Everybody
love,
can take that.
Yeah, seriously, man. Love is. We should be doing all things in love.
Absolutely.
Everything, every single thing you do should be rooted in love. So simplicity, peace of mind, and love.
I like them.
Love it. And I feel like love was also on my list, just because we should always just be striving to operate out of love. I feel like the world is already full with so many things that cause like angst and hate and anxiety for people. Everybody's sort of going through their own thing, and if we could just kind of step back and get out of our own perspective and our own way of doing things and try to understand things from other people, then we'll always be able to operate out of love. So love is definitely one of the things in my buckets. The other is self-care.
Yeah.
I feel, and this might just be for me personally, I felt like for the majority of my life, I've always kind of put myself to the side for other people's fulfillment and happiness. And sometimes I've even gotten into, I know we talked about this in the past, but I've even got into places where I was willing to sacrifice my own happiness for other people and was seeking for them to make me happy, which is not anybody's responsibility. Like your happiness should really be being fostered and fulfilled through you. And so self-care is something that I have began to prioritize, and that's self-care in all aspects, like your health, your mental state, your emotional well-being, like making sure you invest back into self, because at the end of the day, when we go 6 feet under, it's going to be just me, you know, it's just going to be you came here alone, unless you were a twin when you was, you know.
Hey, only one can come out at a time.
Only one comes out at a time, exactly. But like you came here alone, and you know you're gonna have to take that journey to the afterlife alone. So making sure you do things to invest in yourself and take care of yourself is definitely a priority for me. And then the last one is growth. I always say that the only thing that I feel like is worthwhile, other than like spreading love and operating out of love in this life, is continuing to self-improve. Like if you're not taking the time to always stop and reflect on your actions, why you think the way you think, why you do the things that you do, and are constantly seeking to elevate and get better, then what are you doing? And so I have been so blessed and I think fulfilled to be surrounded by so many people who have pushed me to grow and pushed me to transcend. And I think that I'll never stop learning and I'll never stop getting better. So as long as I have those 3 things,
You're all right.
I'm right.
Yeah.
And I feel like love, you know, maybe I add a 4th. Like family is also like very important to me as well. Like I don't know what I would do without them. They're like my foundation. They move me forward. And family is not just by blood. Family, you guys are my family.
Word.
You know, like the real genuine relationships that are cultivated inside your life that really bring you peace, bring you joy, bring you happiness, allow you to grow, allow you to indulge in self-care, allow you to love. Like they're at the foundation of everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So gotta have it. Well.
Well.
Why? Fabiola, why? Usted cómo se bien
You
por-
didn't say that to me, so you must have liked my wells, right?
Excuse me. We don't have to compare it out here.
because-
You liked my well.
Well.
I didn't like
Okay.
either of them.
Yeah, I'm
to
with
be
TJ.
honest.
Cunha,
What happened in empathetic?
What's going on here? Where's the love? We were
Right.
so
It's
all
it.
just-
Love
we
is-
had three of us
love
said
is,
love.
is a subjective term. Because
That's
the
true.
Westboro Baptist Church believes they're acting out of
You're
love.
right. That
and
church-
it's not love.
Yo,
so like
them
it's,
radicals.
it's subjective.
You're
Love
right.
is
actually.
Love is-
You're very,
love is
you're very
subjective.
right about
Right,
that.
okay.
You're very- we probably need another term, but I mean, it's too divine. Define.
Of a
Let me
term,
tell
yeah.
you the reason why it's difficult for me to say this because I was about to say to define. So it's too divine to actually define or find a definitive word for it. So you know what I'm saying?
Too divine.
To define. I should be a rapper out here. Y'all playing games.
We are. C'est Spanish. On va te faire rap, là.
You should hang that coat up.
I ain't even wear it yet. My God.
Just let that pass right on by.
Dang, let's move on in the conversation. Y'all playing
Yes.
games. Y'all attacking me out here. It's the
Never
beginning of the
that.
year.
I always feel attacked.
Can we
Go
also
ahead.
call out this sweatshirt?
And that's why I keep looking at you.
Representation matters,
Matters.
folks. We're gonna touch these up and get these for purchase.
Yeah.
I know. Motuleonka. Show it again. Wow. What's that? At the bottom. What is that?
The Beans Talk.
Wow.
The Beanstalk Podcast, guys. So
Merchandise.
apparel is coming soon.
Yeah, it will be coming soon. Once I'm able to solidify that, make it real
We're
good.
gonna be
Yeah.
making the beanstalk panties too.
All right, so let's go ahead and move forward and moving on in the conversation. But yeah, so today is recess, y'all. I mean, I feel like we got recess energy right now anyway, so this is perfect. And I want to bring this to light because somebody came to me and spoke to me, and we had a little bit of a conversation. It's surrounding a pretty popular topic, and it happens every day. Cheating. Right? Cheating.
I didn't know where you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, honestly, I want some more context on how we might be able to define that today. Because I think given like technology and everything like that, I feel like maybe it could be different, maybe not. So story time. I was in a car, I was driving, and I had a friend, and she was in the car with me, and she was explaining to me her predicament, her situation. So she has her partner, and who's a guy, by the way. She has her partner, and they are married, right? They're married, and so she caught him on a number of occasions where he was just, sending messages or whatever, liking girls' pictures, blah, blah, blah.
On
Instagram, social media and stuff like that, right? And so for her, he was like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal type of thing, but he's from outside of the country.
What country is he from?
Outside of the country. He's from the islands.
Okay.
He's from
So he's
from the
Caribbean?
islands. He's Caribbean. From the
Okay.
islands, Caribbean. And
Well, we already.
I mean, that's important to know. That's
are you stereotyping?
No, but there's
I
there's
wanna
misconceptions
hear
and
that.
perceptions
And
about
perceptions, yes.
just saying.
Caribbean men
Right.
not being faithful.
I mean, yeah,
Stop,
it is.
That
but
is the stereotype
Can
that's
we
out
just
there.
have hope? Like black men don't cheat.
Okay.
Can we just say that Haitian men don't cheat?
Thank you.
Jamaican men don't cheat.
You guys say
Trinidadian
Haitian men don't cheat.
Japanese people don't cheat.
Why'd
What?
your
That was
accent like
so
that came out like
I was
that?
trying to add on to what you guys
But your
were doing.
accent, it might have come off a little offensive. I don't know.
Go ahead. Continue
Yeah,
the
let's
story,
just do the
please.
story because we're going down a rabbit hole. here.
Oh my God. But, all right. So I'm in the car and she's telling me about this. And in my mind, I'm like, all right, this doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? He's talking to other women and she confronts him about it. And so when she confronts him about it, he's like, I really don't think that it's a big deal. I didn't know that this was a problem. I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't have any bad intentions or anything like that. I just thought it was social media. It's just a thing to do. And so, she was like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And, I guess it's not a big deal. And I just told him this really just can't keep happening because for me, you must understand how this might come off. And so he was like, okay, fine. Yeah, I won't do it. This wasn't the first time. that this has happened. This has been probably about the third or fourth time that it happened, but in different scenarios and contexts. And I guess maybe that could be used as an opportunity to be like, I didn't know. And, if it's not the same exact situation, then maybe, you might not know or anything like that.
But so you don't know after 3 or 4 times of the same situation.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, how would you define cheating? Like today? Like, what would bring you offense today? I know, like, if Steph is reaching out and to me, if Steph is liking pictures, that's a thing to do. You double tap, you like pictures. Now, if you're sending messages, if you're sliding into DMs.
Are you like looking directly at me and like staring deep into my soul? I feel like I'm in trouble. Like I'm doing
You would be. So if you're sliding into DMs, then to me, I feel like it could be potentially become a problem.
Sliding into DMs like, yo, hey, man,
all right, so
I'm
now
feeling
let's
you.
I don't know.
You fine as hell.
I don't know. Like,
hey, the work that you do really fascinates me. I'd love to connect with you on to see how we can collaborate.
that's networking.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But they're both DM messages. I think that's maybe what Ro was saying.
What are your feelings on like somebody that you're with liking somebody else's pictures that they could potentially be attracted to?
Well,
would that bother you?
I think that you should, if you're doing something that you wouldn't want your partner to do to you, then that's a problem. Like, I would love to hear what the guy's response was if she were to be doing the same thing. Would he be okay with her
Absolutely.
talking? Like, so one,
they're never okay with that.
He's full of shit. That's number one. He's full of shit. The second thing is that this is not the first time this conversation has come up. And I think it's a pattern of behavior. And I think
that's being enabled in a sense because like
she keeps giving him chances and being like, oh, he doesn't know, but he does know. He's not stupid. Like, if this is a thing that has been brought up before and she's expressed her discontent, then he's doing it. I mean, I don't believe that. Oh, he's just oblivious to the etiquette of being in a relationship.
They're married,
and they're married on top of that. I personally liking pictures. It depends. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've been in relationships where I felt insecure and the person has made me feel like insecure. And so I'm like super honed in on everything that they do. But when someone makes you feel secure, them liking a picture isn't like the biggest deal.
I have a couple of follow-up questions. I'm going to write these down. Go ahead.
No, if you're secure, then liking a picture isn't a big deal to me.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. When I'm thinking about like liking other people's pictures on like a platform like Instagram, I don't even really notice that Fabiola might like someone's picture. The only time I think I would like notice is if I see her, if we have mutual friends and then she likes someone's picture and then she's like commenting under the picture something like, like, ooh, damn, or something like that, then that's when I have to have a conversation like, what was going on here? And this is why I think communication in any relationship is really important because like a lot of relationships are destroyed, regardless if they're romantic or not. A lot of relationships are destroyed just because of the lack of communication and like poor communication skills that might exist between both parties or one party or whatever. Yeah. So you have to communicate. So if I see something like that and I go to Fabiola and I'm like, so what was this all about? And we have a conversation about it and we get on the same page, I think that in itself builds up like more trust and more security in both parties. And then I'll be very clear, like, you don't need to be doing that because you might be sending this other person, even though I'm not worried about you necessarily going out and doing anything, you might be sending the wrong messages to this other person who might be trying to pursue something different than what you're seeking. So communication is key. And 2, I agree.
Episode 2, season 1.
Oh, yeah. Episode 2, season 1.
Wait, what? That was the title?
Yeah, that was the title. Communication is key.
Hey, y'all.
Taking it back.
Comes full circle.
I make it threads and I didn't even know. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. And then to your point, TJ, I agree. He knows exactly what he's doing. We're talking about 4 times and who knows what else might be going on as well. Like, I don't know if the social media aspect, and maybe Fabiola can add more to this, I don't know if the social media aspect is all that she's really caught him in, but like I define cheating as anytime you're investing romantic emotions deliberately into somebody else. Like, I don't have to actually like be laid up with you or we actually like hook up and have sex or something. Like, I think that if you're giving any type of romantic, emotional investment into anyone else, knowing that you are already emotionally involved with someone, like that's where things cross the line.
I feel you on that. And I think to add to that last piece, Steph, babe, and if you're doing it in sneaking
Secret.
around in secret,
then you know it's not right, right?
Literally, I was talking, I feel like I was talking to y'all about this maybe, but like any shit that you have to do in secret,
Yes.
you already know it's something you shouldn't be doing.
Right. And you know, everybody has intuition, right?
Come on.
Like, you got that little voice inside your head or that feeling in your gut.
on.
Like, if I'm doing something and Fabiola comes in and I gotta be like, you know, like doing all of that. Like,
Give me that phone.
right.
Come on.
Like, it looks suspicious. And
I
it's
don't like that.
I hate tiptoeing around like that.
That's a lot of energy. Yo.
It's so
that takes
much
mad
energy.
work. Like, to do all of that. Ugh.
I'm too lazy for that.
I feel bad for her personally
Me,
because
I honestly do too.
not wish that feeling. I've been there. I've been there before, where you're with someone and they make you question everything
that
they
they
do,
do.
and you start
Yeah.
to question
Wow.
yourself.
Woo.
I hate. I will never.
Bro, I'm looking right at you.
I will never be with someone
Yo.
again that puts me in that space
Yeah.
because that was like a low. I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
That was like a low time in my life, and I know that if you're married to someone that makes you feel that way, I just feel bad. That sucks.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question because it wasn't too long after, like, we sat down, like, we had a conversation, me and her, but also had somebody else inside of there. We were all talking. And there was a guy, the other guy, the
thought it
other
was the
person that
husband.
was
I'm like,
talking.
oh.
No, imagine, no. It was the other friend was actually a dude. And he was like, you know, I'm just wondering. And she was basically saying a whole bunch of different things, not just like, you know, specific to like the whole Instagram, social media stuff, but like other stuff too that she wasn't content with. And so he was like, do you think that you're enabling him by staying with him? And so I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, is that something where it's like, you know, deal breaker, it's off, type of thing? If you already feel like you have something else piled up, mind you, she is married.
Absolutely. I think she is enabling him. I think you ultimately train people how to treat you. I think that if you allow that multiple times, of course they're going to think, oh, like they may apologize and say it's not going to happen, but it's ultimately saying that you're going to put up with this behavior. I don't care if you're married or not. It's not a contract in blood.
Yeah.
Like you can...
A contract in blood.
Yeah, like I heard some people, I actually
Sold
don't,
your soul.
I don't like this idea of like marriage being like, oh, I mean,
End all, be all.
yeah, it's not the end all be all. It's a contract and it's like a pledge. But shit, if things aren't going the way, if the person isn't treating you the way you deserve to be treated, be out.
Yeah.
Dip, baby,
Like-
dip.
And I've heard this argument a lot, like, oh, well, we're married, as if like the world's gonna implode if you decide, no, I need better
Right.
from
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, I wanted to speak to that point. It was like, you said that you have to train people on how to treat you.
Yep.
I think that's like a really, really good point, you know what I mean, to point that out. Do you guys have anything to say before I jump in on it?
I mean, I do agree that there's like this sense of enabling if she isn't like putting the structures in place.
That's the problem.
To let him know how you're going to, how this marriage is going to last in terms of the way you need to operate.
Yep.
Like, she's not setting any like boundaries or clear guidelines. It seems like, I don't want to make any assumptions about what she's ultimately doing or not doing, but based on this fourth time of being caught doing this, it seems like there hasn't really, it's only kind of been like a pat on the wrist.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been any major structural changes that would make him feel like he needs to move differently inside this marriage.
Yeah.
Now, to TJ's point, and this could probably get down a whole rabbit hole, like, yes, marriage, I believe, is contractual and it's not something that should last forever. But I do think it is worthwhile putting more effort into a marriage, just because that's a lot. It's a lot wrapped up into that. Like, you have like you might have kids with this person. You might have like finances wrapped up in, with this person. You might have been with this person for a long time. So like I could see an argument where somebody is saying, I want to put a little bit of extra effort into trying to fix my marriage versus if I was just like dating somebody or be boyfriend and girlfriend and like moving
easy.
on.
Yeah.
So I understand when people want to, they're not, as soon as their spouse does something that they might feel could be quote unquote unforgivable or really hard to move through, that they're willing to work through it. Like, I don't think that makes them stupid for staying if this person has made a poor decision that could end the relationship. Yeah. But I do believe that if you're going to stay inside of that situation, then there definitely needs to be some accountability and structure set up so that we're moving different if this thing's gonna last.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what kind of structure, Steph, do you think? Because this is, I only said the marriage thing because it happened like more than one time. It's like a pattern.
But she never put the structures in place.
She's talking about like terms and conditions for what it is. How, like, just like how you said, like, I need to be treated this way for this to work type of thing. So I think what Steph is saying is like, if there is a marriage, if it is a marriage, it should require you or would require you to take some time before completely getting out of it. I don't want to put too much out there, but it's just like she should definitely put like a term and condition type of thing.
And outside of the 4 times thing, right? Because it's clear, like, because this has happened 4 times, she hasn't done any of that.
You don't think she's told him, hey, I don't want you DMing people anymore? Like,
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, but that was like that was that one off. I'm saying like this has happened 4 times, not in just the DMing situation, but it's like other little things. Women. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like other modes of entertaining. And so it's like how many, I just feel like, each time it is a thing, to me, it's just one pattern. It's all in one bucket. It's one thing. That's in my eyes, but for her, it's not. And so it was really hard for me to like not kind of like go in and like shine as much light as possible on this, where it's like, because I feel like I would shatter her reality is what I felt like I would have been doing. But I basically explained like, you really need to like Steph was saying, like, you need to create your structures for what it is that you want. And you need to create this term and condition type of thing because he's going to keep doing it. But my problem is, are you going to stick with your terms and conditions? That's my problem. I think she could have actually done the terms and conditions, but she's not sticking with it.
You know what's messing with me, yo? Like, terms and conditions, like that just complicates it.
And it shouldn't even be a thing.
Go simplicity, right?
Yo, I'm hearing that. And it's like, damn, like if they had just allowed shit to just flow organically and just simple, like we wouldn't have to be bringing in these terms and conditions. And that's just like the disappointing part with cheating. Like, yo, slide in anyone's DMs, do all your dumb shit, but it's like, man, now we're here.
Yeah.
Like now the person who I was supposed to flow easy with, I got a terms and conditions that ass.
I just don't understand what that means.
You gotta put in the work.
I feel like every relationship though has terms and conditions. Like, let's just use you and I, TJ. We've been there, right? So
I already know this is
okay.
Look at his smile.
When it hits, like when it hits October and my birthday is coming around and I'm planning something and you aren't there, you're going to shuffle things around to make sure you're there. That's
true.
a term and condition because I feel like terms and conditions aren't necessarily, while we're saying the words, it does sound like very like black and white contract type thing.
Yeah, that's
but
what
we show people like, if we want to be inside of this relationship with one another, there are certain things that have to happen to make this relationship last and be strengthened. Yeah. The terms and conditions was like, TJ, if you're not going to even think about me enough to show up for this important event, then I have questions.
Okay, that's a good example. However, we had that conversation and it made me move differently. Like, I know that's a thing that's
true.
Uncompromised. Like, that's a thing.
But if you kept doing it,
exactly. Like, I am sure that this girl has told him, hey, like, I don't want you texting people or like DMing people. He keeps doing it. I don't think after the 4th time you're good. A tiger to me doesn't change his stripes. I think that I just don't know what she could do to make him treat her right. It's either you bounce or you like I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like that whole because quick story. I've been with someone who he caught me cheating on him. Okay, he caught me red-handed, went through my phone, caught me, and he made a contract. He wrote out a contract. I think I told you about this.
I've never heard.
I've never heard this story.
I told you about this.
No, but please do continue.
Saying that, I won't ever do this, and the third again. You think that helped?
And like a dummy, you signed it too, huh?
I don't remember me signing it. I remember me thinking it's dumb.
Oh, okay.
But like that was his way of having control
Terms
and
and
of him
conditions.
trying to like get me to behave the way he wanted me to, and ultimately
That's
it
true.
didn't work.
No, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
you can't make anyone like that guy who
They have to
we're
be
talking about
willing.
has to want to do it.
Yeah, they have to. You're right.
So like that's why I'm like terms and conditions. It's not gonna work. Like the person has to want to be with you.
I agree.
They do.
Yeah, I agree.
You're
I
right.
agree.
The terms and conditions has to come after somebody really wanting to be invested in your life.
And
Yeah.
to be honest, a chronic cheater, I don't think a chronic cheater is gonna have an epiphany like,
let's just pause right there. So, folks out there, a chronic cheater is giving us advice right now.
I'm not a chronic cheater.
So let's
Hold on.
make sure that we
I
got
am
that.
not a chronic cheater.
A
I have
chronic
cheated.
cheater.
I have cheated, but I've also been
More than
with
once.
people
More than once. You cheated more than once.
with the same person.
But you cheated more than once.
I've cheated, but I've also
you
been
were
with
chronic
people who I have never thought about cheating with, like ever.
Who?
Like I love them.
Before you knew me,
Before I knew you, I've been with someone who I would never dream of cheating on.
Yeah.
And then I've been with people who I'm like, like I like you, but not enough to not cheat on you.
why does that happen? Since we now have the advice of an expert.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but it's true. Like, I don't think it has to do with like giving me an ultimate, like it's about me loving you enough to want to treat you the way you deserve to be treated.
But how do you determine that? Like, you
So that
is it
means
just
that
a
there's just a-
person? It's just who they
I
are.
don't know. It's a
To
feeling
me,
inside.
it was what it's sounding like to me, and even inside of like my friend's situation as well. It's just like there's a lack of compatibility there. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, lack of
like there's
compatibility.
no reason for y'all to
Typically,
even
it's
be
the
together.
people
Is what it
that
sounds
like me more than I like them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when it's
and
like
that's a problem. Like I
a
feel
real
like there
thing.
needs to be like a mutual feeling there. And sometimes people need to be smacked. And I feel
I did
You
not
mean
think
like
you were gonna say that.
physically
not
slapped?
physically. Granted,
Oh, I
yes.
thought you meant
No,
physically
I
slapped.
did. It was a pun, but and I mean like smacked with reality. Sometimes
Or
it
the
does
hand.
take a physical smack. I'm not gonna lie, and and that might mean like this is the way that it needs to happen, because some people might move a particular way and think that it's okay, and not realizing like without them in your life, this is how you will actually feel. And sometimes they're not recognizing that. You know what I mean? And that's when it becomes a problem. I don't know.
Side thought. I was actually talking about this with a homegirl. Something that I've observed. I feel as if, and like me and the shorty, we had a couple examples of people. But in like certain relationships, I feel like women are a lot more forgiving of shit than men are.
Yeah.
Gender roles.
Yeah. And I just feel
Yeah,
like
that's true.
a woman finds out that her partner, a guy, did something, cheated, slid in a DM. Like, what me and this homegirl noticed is that a woman would be like, okay, all right, it's fine. Like, yeah, I'm upset, I'm in my feelings, I'm gonna cry
Yeah,
about it,
yep.
but it's fine. But I've seen examples of where a man, knowing damn well that he's done his dirt, but
Yep.
because shorty got caught, boy,
It's over.
oh my God, why you do that to
I
me?
wish-
Yeah, like how could you do
How
that to
could
me?
you?
Guys, make sure you come and watch the video just so you can see what Ro did.
Yeah,
La
man.
fin du monde. Oh my God, you break my hand. I'm going to sue for emotional damage. But it's like, but,
Yeah, I agree. It's silly.
no, it's so
silly.
It's so
very
silly. And maybe shorty.
Double standards.
Yeah.
Gender roles. Yeah, I mean, it's this idea that men are gonna be men. and
Yeah,
they're
boys will be boys.
evolutionary.
Yeah.
We're like programmed
Yeah.
to slay as many women as like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that's.
Yep.
But a female is like, oh, loyalty, your hold, all that other stuff. So
annoying.
it's true. It is a double standard.
I agree.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
There was one last question I wanted to ask because TJ brought it up and it just kind of popped into my mind. Do you think it's your partner's responsibility to make you feel secure inside of a relationship?
I think so, to an extent.
You're like, hell.
There has to be something. I mean, I feel like this might pair a bit with the happiness conversation. Like, I think there has to be some security in like work that you're doing on yourself, because sometimes your insecurities come from like past trauma or past experiences that your partner had really nothing to do with.
Yes, ma'am.
But this is where I feel like, and I'll just use like Fabiola and I, for example. Like, Fabiola and I are very open with each other, and she like knows certain things that I've been through and like certain blind spots that I might have or insecurities that I might have. And because she knows that, she's able to help me like work through them in a particular way and operate in a relationship to make me feel secure.
That's beautiful.
But it's not like, I think your partner does some sort of like tag teaming with you while you are... Yeah, like you are ultimately responsible for making sure that you're doing your own healing and your own transitions and transformation. But your partner is there helping to support or like, I don't know, levitate that for you. But if they like know these things about you and then they're moving in particular ways that don't give you the space to grow, then that's where I find the issue. Like, they need to give you that. They need to be operating in a way, even knowing what they know about what you're struggling with. They need to be operating in a way to help you grow and be the best version of yourself. I don't want to be with anybody or have anybody in my life that's not pushing me to be the best version of myself.
Or doesn't bring out, the same.
I'll bring out the best.
I agree, or a person that doesn't bring out the best. And so I agree with Steph. It's like it's a partnership where like, you should be focused on doing your own healing, and you should not rely on your partner for your happiness. But I definitely think your partner plays a role in whether or not you feel secure in your relationship. Right. Because if they're doing stuff like what this girl is going through, there's no question that's going to breed a seed of insecurity, and it's probably going to make her feel like shit, or she's not good enough.
Like, I agree. I feel you.
And I feel like we all as people, we already, outside of being with somebody else, we're always having this internal dialogue with ourselves. I'm like, am I enough? Am I meeting this expectation? Am I doing this? We're always having this negative dialogue, which is another cycle I am working to break, guys. But like, we're already the hardest on ourselves. Word. Like, we might as well surround ourselves with people that, soften the edges a little bit. We already are going through an internal battle and an internal war with ourselves. Why do we want to surround ourselves with people that, join the battlefield?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, man. I agree. Right. I agree. I think people, your partner or your life partner, I'm not even going to say your partner, because your life partner is someone your soulmate, you know what I mean, would already know and be in tune to like reinforce your securities, you know what I mean, and make sure that they don't add to any insecurities. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like with your soulmate, there's certain things that they don't even have to say.
Yeah,
like, you just like
know.
You're like, yo, this is solid. This is grounded. We are in this for real. Yeah. But y'all know, I've had the conversation. I'm a words of affirmation person. Like, I don't need you saying every single day that like, yo, Roanne, I am committed to this, but let me know though.
Yeah.
Let me know though, because there are going to be those times where, I get in my head a lot. And there are going to be those times where I doubt your commitment to this, but like a simple reminder.
Yeah.
A simple reminder is big for me.
I'm the type of person where like, I need you to show me, like, because you can say it all you want to say, but if your actions don't align with the things you say, then that shows me that you're full of shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that too, man.
Yeah, actual. I agree. Wow, that was a nice conversation. Very stimulating conversation.
I don't like being known as a chronic cheater, though. I'm not a chronic cheater.
That is your turn.
I am not a chronic cheater. I have cheated in the past, as we all have. Well, some of us. Most people.
Tiger can't change its stripes. So.
Yeah.
You said that's
like you said, like we all have. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm just playing.
Everyone has at some point.
I'm just playing.
Well, you actually, first of all, you would have to be in a relationship first to be considered a chronic
Exactly.
cheater. But let's just say that you are not, stingy.
You haven't found your life partner yet.
I haven't found my life partner, and
Yes.
the times I did think I found them, I was not cheating. I would never have cheated. So, but they ended up cheating on me. So,
Damn.
So
There's that.
Damaged goods.
damaged goods. I'm damaged goods.
That's not what
just
she
joking.
said.
What?
Not you, baby. Not you.
No, but seriously, on a serious note though, like these are the things that happen. Like our past experiences and our traumas shape who we are, and we should have life partners and people in our life who understand that and are moving in a certain way to just help us heal and become better people.
Yes.
Really at the end of the day. So we are no longer damaged goods. We might have like
I don't know if you can never not. Be
I think everyone.
you can
everyone.
always not be. You might have
Undamage
like
yourself?
you might have like tape, little tape patches over you or something, but you can help.
Yeah.
Well,
Word
it's
of
time
the
for
day.
word of the day, y'all.
Yeah.
And this word is, I think, is fitting for what we just talked about. The word is uncompromising.
Ooh.
Uncompromising.
Oh, nice.
And the word, according to Webster's dictionary, it's defined as showing an unwillingness to make concessions to others, especially by changing one's ways or opinions. And I chose this word because there's a duality with this term. I think that oftentimes when you think of someone being uncompromising, you think that it's a good thing to hold steadfast to your beliefs. That's a good thing, right? And especially in a world that's always trying to push and pull us and trying to sway our opinions, right?
Yeah.
That can be a good thing. However, on the other side, it can be a toxic thing if you're like in a partnership, you're unwilling to see your partner's side of the story, or that you're unwilling to kind of change for your partner.
Yeah.
And I just think it's important that like anything that's good, like any trait that's good, can also be, I think it can be toxic.
Like too much of it can be
too
damaging.
much of it can be toxic. You have to know when it's okay to hold true to who you are and your opinions, and when it's okay to sort of compromise and bend for the sake of a relationship.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I really love that
I
word.
like that word.
Yeah.
I love it a lot because it just reminds me of another idea that I'm trying to live by, which is that I shouldn't be so caught up in my perspective or the way I think and the way that I believe, in this sense that, in the sense that it would be hurting or dehumanizing other people. Like you should never be that kind of stuck inside of your own way if it comes at the detriment of hurting someone else.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of our relationships, we might get so caught up in just the way that we have grown up and done things that we do become uncompromising on some things. And then we stop questioning, like, where did this even come from? Like, why do I even believe this? Is this what I believe? Is this something that I think is like furthering me to like lead with love and grow? Like, we stop questioning and going through that cycle of growth. And that's what I think. Don't ever be so uncompromising where you stop growing and then you damage. I don't want anybody in my life that's uncompromising. If you feel like that's the way that you are and you're not going to change, keep that wave over there. Like, I don't need any of that negative energy in my space.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's
With all
very
that.
important to recognize, like, you can't just be uncompromising even with yourself as you as you
Exactly.
continue to grow. Like, if you're like, well, that's just the way that I am,
And I ain't gonna change.
that's a problem to me. Like, I'm like, all right, so you aren't going to be able to fulfill my 3 buckets.
Deuces.
That's what it sounds like.
Love,
I mean,
time, happiness.
yeah. You know what I mean?
Love and happiness.
Yeah. Oh, feel free to share your own 3 buckets, please. And let us know reasons why.
Homework, guys. Homework. I know it's been a minute, but it's time for us to get geared up for 2020. Go ahead and follow us if you aren't following us already at the Beans Talk Podcast on Instagram. Hit that link in bio and listen to our wonderful conversation on all platforms. And check us out on YouTube, Cutting Up. And as always, guys, we love you.
We love you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Please. Like, subscribe,
Do
share, all that
comment.
Do all that.
Yeah.
All of that.
All right, y'all.
All of that.
Deuces.
Peace
Ciao.
out, guys.
Be great.
Hey!